Here we go. This is it, episode 570, No Laugh Track Podcast, here in Minneapolis, Minnesota at Acme Comedy Company. I am Justin Severson. Get to host this each and every week, including this week, Halloween Day, exactly, with Derek Hughes and Trevor Anderson, the headliner and the feature this week at Acme. Fellas?
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Happy Halloween.
Boo.
Oh, that's scary. Oh, that's scary.
It's the second scariest day of this year.
Behind
Election
next
day.
Tuesday, I'm
Of
guessing.
course.
We're going to spend the last 20 minutes talking about the... No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Please, no.
That's the only attention the election's going to get was right there.
Yeah.
Probably at least. But yeah, you're absolutely right. We're all looking forward to getting that one behind us. In any case, good to be here with you fellas. Last night, obviously, I was here with my wife, and we had an awesome time, and I want to start right there.
Well, what's most important is how did your wife enjoy it?
You're absolutely right. That is the most important.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen some shit.
Yeah.
But,
Let's see. That's a great question that we can jump off with. And I will say that, so as soon as the show was ending, when you finished, Derek, and Sean was coming out, the host, saying goodbye to the crowd, well, we do what we normally do and immediately try to get to be the first ones to the bathroom, basically, because we've been drinking all evening.
This ain't your first rodeo. You
No.
know.
I want to be the first or second, all right? Preferably first. So she beat me out of the room. I stayed for a little bit. But anyway, by the time I got out and met up with her, I go, do you know that there were people standing? I'm like, Derek basically got a standing of about half the crowd freaking stood up at the end of the show, which does not, I mean, that rarely happens at Acme. And she's like, yeah, if I would have been there, I would have too.
that's very sweet.
So how about that? There's
That's
my
very
rambling
sweet.
answer of
Left.
she wanted to give you a standing ovation as well.
I love it. Because listen, I mean, that's more valued opinion than yours. I mean, you see all the shows, right? Like when if I want Charlene,
I'll lie to you. No, I'm
and
kidding.
the fact that you brought her to our show last night is a huge compliment, because the last thing Charlene wants to do is see a magic show. So dragging her to the comedy club was I was very touched.
Well, of course. I mean, and she and I have a history of coming to see shows with both of you guys performing. I mean, she would admit she's a fan of both of you, so it was a no-brainer.
Yeah,
And
it's
we
a
had the
great
babysitter lined up, so we had to come.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's Halloween week. I want to talk about that for a few moments here. Memories of growing up, Halloween. Good ones, bad ones.
Good ones.
Yeah.
I'll start with that. I have a very strong memory.
Both of you. You grew up in Minnesota.
That's true.
Okay. In the
So,
city.
Halloween's often very chilly.
Mm-hmm.
Like this Halloween, which
Yeah.
is snowing for the first time
Yeah.
in the year. This is the first snow of the year, right?
I believe
Yes,
so.
I
I
think
was
it
thinking
is.
on the way
Yeah.
over here, do we even call it that? Because it's basically melting as it's touching the ground. But I guess
It's
it's
snow.
coming down.
It's
There's
snow.
snow.
People are driving like it's the first snow of the year.
There you go. Yeah, you're right, Trevor. Yes.
My mother, I wanted to be a mummy one year. She bought a store-bought makeup kit, but she didn't read the instructions. And
Here
the
we go.
instructions, it came with a bunch of like cotton balls that you kind of had glow-in-the-dark makeup that went on it, and thinking back, the logic in my mind is I'm sure you were to stretch the cotton balls and then apply them in a mummy-like way.
Oh, sure.
She glued cotton balls to my face. And I walked around in a winter coat with cotton balls stuck to my face as a mummy. And it was mortifying.
That was one of those, what are you supposed to be, right?
Every single door. But I'll tell you, the makeup kits are hard. You know, I had a gig. This is like 30 years ago. I did a modeling job for Target stores for the Halloween costumes, and I was the vampire. And what they do is they buy all these different makeup kits and costume elements from different vendors all over the world, and then they repackage them with their own branding. So they unified all the different vampire makeup kits and costume parts with my face and it dressed up in the costumes. So when a kid's at the thing, he's like, "Oh, that goes with it, Mom," and "Oh, that goes with it too." They're supposed to be, it's how they get they up
Sure.
the sales on it. I don't know why I'm looking for Target employees. They
don't sit out here, they sit backstage.
sure they're
Yeah.
hiding.
Yeah, but they are here.
Okay, so big lie. They did my makeup, looked great, looked like Dracula. That makeup artist didn't use anything in the kit. Not a single thing. So good luck, parents, trying to match what it's supposed to look like. Cotton balls on the face.
Yeah.
Was it some like Hollywood professional using their like $1 million
I mean,
supplies?
it was a local professional makeup artist, for sure, a photo shoot makeup artist with a huge kit. Not using the rinky-dink palette that comes with 4 watercolor.
Yeah.
On the drive over here, I was thinking about us talking about Halloween, and it brought up a memory of going to like a costume contest when I was very young, and it was the first time. I just realized this today. I think it was the first time where I felt like disappointment in, I don't know, maybe my parents, because I had a store-bought costume, and I'll never forget seeing another kid like dressed up as a scarecrow, and they had like real straw or hay or whatever coming out of like their sleeves and their neck and stuff, and it was like, and they had a real pumpkin on their head, and it was like we're not even, I shouldn't even be here.
Yeah,
like, this
that's
is
the extra
embarrassing to even be in the same contest. I'm going to go home. This is awful.
Don't
Yeah.
judge your parents.
Yeah.
I'm going to forgive them.
It's a
surefire way to make things exciting for kids is to make it a competition.
Right?
Like, you're a loser. Here's some candy.
Well, we had such a we with our boys have been doing homemade costumes for the last decade. Since they've been trick or treating, and we always get creative, but they don't do it. We do it. Charlene
Yeah.
and I build these elaborate, awesome costumes, and this year they wanted to be Bunsen and Beaker from the Muppet Show, and Charlene built this incredible beaker with a tube and felt, and it looks great. And we got stuck on Bunsen, the round-headed guy. Huge paper mache ball, but we couldn't figure out how to stretch the felt without wrinkles. And then we realized, like, oh my God, Bunsen doesn't have eye holes. Like, the guy doesn't have eyes.
Yeah.
And they are now going tonight as 2 bananas. Store-bought bananas.
Chiquita and
Yes.
did how old are your boys?
11 and 13.
And how are they into the Muppets at this point? What are they
Oh.
watching to be into the Muppets?
Oh, I have the box set. I have the whole
Like of the
Muppet
TV show?
Yeah.
Good job.
So, and we've watched the
Well done,
movies.
sir.
Thank you. You're welcome. Yes.
Awesome.
Oh,
awesome. Yeah. Introduce them to the classics. That's good, because I don't think that stuff's just like on TV or whatever. You better have a
I guess it's not, is
the
it?
box
Probably
set.
on YouTube. That's all my
It's
kid
on YouTube.
watches.
That's true.
I just go YouTube, Curious George, and there it is.
Yeah.
Have you ever Okay, that's interesting, because along those lines, have you ever accidentally stumbled on one of those, like, it's an inappropriate video that is like titled Curious George, but really it's like somebody doing like this sick reenactment of like
No.
something from
Curious
George.
Jorge?
Yeah.
We've just YouTube Kids has a separate app.
YouTube
where
Kids. There you go.
I'm ahead of it. I'm a good dad.
That's the way around it. That's the way around it. So I know from your act and from talking to you, many times in the past, Trevor, you grew up in a family with a couple brothers.
Yep.
And did you guys dress up together? Were there like 3 Musketeers years, or
No, we would always kind of do our own thing. I think.
what's the age difference?
So my older brother's like 3 years older than me, and my younger brother's a year and a half.
Oh, okay.
So I'm right in the middle.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was, and sometimes we would just recycle. Like my older brother's a history nerd, and he like was a 4th grader going as Ulysses S. Grant for Halloween.
Dork.
And so it's like, at least he was wearing a Union uniform, And then, yeah, you kind of just recycle. We would have a big Tupperware tub, and that's actually how my daughter decided she wanted to be a mermaid, because my brother's kids, they just gave us a bunch of their old costumes for dress up or whatever, and she's like, oh, it's a mermaid. I'm going to do that.
Oh,
so this is the first year she's gotten to like pick what she wants to be, because she's 3.
So what's the leftover? Do you already know the leftover costume for next year? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. She'll figure something out.
Yeah.
That
Oh, that's great.
maybe Bunsen and Beaker.
Hey, I've got a very cheap beaker outfit.
Yeah, $5. Yeah.
2 beakers. How about that? No Bunsen. No Bunsen.
One time, my band was playing like a Halloween show, and we're like, let's do costumes,
Mm-hmm.
And I went as we're like trying to do characters from horror movies or whatever, and I went as the basket of lotion in it from Silence of the Lambs. I got a big laundry hamper from Target and like cut out the bottom, and like made suspenders, and then I had like a little headband with like I just took a lotion pump and glued it on there. And then I had just a white shirt that I wrote Jergens lotion on it. But then I was staring at it and I was asking my wife, I was like, this doesn't look right. Is that how you spell Jergens? She's like, that's not how you spell lotion.
Oh no!
So I said Jergens Loten.
No!
But now anytime, that shows up on the shopping list for Target, my wife always writes Loten.
Love it. Love it. Why did I not see a picture of this on your social media
I don't
today? You should
know.
be posting that every year. You must have a picture of it, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh.
It was at a time where you didn't have to constantly be thinking about social media posts.
True. Yeah. Well, those were
What's
good
your
days.
band's name?
Circle of Heat.
Circle of Heat.
Yeah.
And did any of the band members go as related? Was
No.
anyone like a broken fingernail stuck in a wall or?
No, we were all just on our
Clarice.
own. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did people get the costume?
No. But when I explained it to, they're like, oh, cool. I'm like, glad I dropped $25 on a laundry hamper from Target for this.
That's amazing.
$25 must have been a sturdy one.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good. What is if I was looking up stuff about Halloween earlier today, and it said, how Google will give you frequently asked questions about a certain topic.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was asked if it was legal to give out ammo to trick or treaters.
What?
Wow.
What
For the-
state?
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Okay.
For the record, not legal.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah.
Not legal. Absolutely not legal.
That doesn't mean it's not happening.
So what it makes me think, Justin, how much leftover ammo do you have sitting in the pantry?
Zero, sir. Since we just briefly talked about your band, is Circle of Heat still in action, Trevor?
We did a long run of 20-somethings crashing on couches, splitting $300 on a weekend. And we're super happy we did that, but we're not particularly active now. You get married, you have kids. It's like, I can't be like, peace out, I'm going to go drive in a van to Milwaukee.
Sure.
The four of us are active in a Allman Brothers tribute that has been pretty successful. We headlined First Avenue this year.
I saw that, man. Congrats.
Which
That is huge.
Great. I don't know. It helps that not a lot of nationally touring acts are booking tours through Minneapolis in January. But we had a yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It was you. That was awesome.
So you're still playing?
Yeah.
Because that collaboration's tough, especially when everybody starts to have lives. It's it's much easier to be a solo act.
Right, yeah. And that's I've always enjoyed, and I think I'm more naturally better at comedy than music, because these guys that I play with, they're phenomenal. And I was always like, I just got to keep up with these dudes, because we met at the U of M doing classical music, and I don't know why I was doing that, but
So in this Allman Brothers cover band, what parts are you doing? Singing?
I do Greg's part, organ and vocals. So
Look at that.
yeah, it's been really fun. It's been interesting to hear all the the fans of these old guys that are just like, man, I saw them back in, and
Oh, I
it's just kind of
suppose.
cool to that's a part I first thought was kind of annoying. I'm like, yeah, great, I wasn't around then. I'm just playing this Oktoberfest gig, but it's kind of cool to hear because there's, I think only one of the original Allman Brothers members is alive.
Okay,
so there's
yeah.
not many people doing that, especially in this neighborhood. But
Yeah, if you can get an old fan to react to what you're doing, that's a huge compliment.
yeah, and a lot of times, who likes the Allman Brothers? Old white guys. Who has all the money in the world? Old white guys. So we started putting a tip bucket out, and they're like, "Play Jessica," and they throw $20 in. I'm like, "That's definitely already on the list," but okay. We were gonna
Genius.
play the songs that but it's So that's been really fun to kind of, and they're an exploratory, improvisational, kind of proto jam band. So it's nice to be able to insert our own influences and solos and stuff. And
Hell yeah. I saw you did the Minnesota State Fair as well, right?
yep, yeah, that was super fun. We were at the stage that was in the line for the deep fried ranch was right by it, so we had a built-in crowd of 500 people. We got comments on our like I was just in line for deep fried ranch, but turns out I like the Allman Brothers now.
Dude, that's awesome. That is awesome.
What stage is that? I don't know where Deep Fried Ranch is, but
It was the Shells stage, I think.
Way far the back end of the fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
It used to be called the Heritage
Heritage Square
It's no longer
stage.
called Heritage
Yeah.
Square. It's
Yeah,
something
okay,
else.
I know that. I know that stage very well.
But that was,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talking about weather, it was perfect weather the whole week of the state fair.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I think I would ever do the state fair with a 3-year-old is having a parking pass and like a building with air conditioning and bathrooms that you can just like,
Camp out.
Yeah.
Home base.
so like, all right, we'll take a lap and
Yeah.
then try to get back. You know, it was packed. It was fun though.
Yeah, that's an awesome gig. That's an
Well,
awesome.
the singing makes sense because if you remember, Justin, last night in Trevor's show, he did sing.
There's a little bit of
Do you
singing.
remember?
Yes, and
He
not
sang very nice.
not just yes. He does.
I know.
Sings
and I was
very
like,
well.
What's going on?
To the
This is
point where I
incredible.
literally heard a few women go, "Oh."
Yes.
I'm not kidding. I'm not
yes.
joking.
Yeah.
Maybe you heard it too. But that really
Yeah.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, that's a good. Let's go back and talk a little bit more about last night. I mean, I've seen Derek you perform here many times, but I don't know. It was just such a great crowd last night,
They
and
were
I don't
so
know
good.
if. I mean, are you? Are you putting more into your act because of having a health scare this summer, or are you the same? Because I don't know what
that's
happened. But it
interesting.
was so. The crowd reaction was so good. I don't remember seeing so many, like when you were about to get to the end of like the reveal of one of your tricks, and I multiple times I heard crowd audience members go, "No, no, no." You know,
Yeah.
like he's not.
Yeah.
There's no way this is coming. And
Even
then,
the little thing like when you were like doing a card trick and you're like, you don't trust you like had the hand like it's like I clearly am hiding the card and then you just like and they're like, oh, he doesn't have a card there. Like even that was amazing.
Yes.
Like so the non trick was actually getting like pops too. It was
It
great.
was a
fun
really
to
hot
watch.
room. It was a very, very hot room. And I mean, can we affect that? I don't know. I do know. I mean, did you feel that they were a great? They
Yeah.
seemed really great for you.
It
They
was-
seemed great for Sean.
Yeah, it's I mean that's one thing I always find that some comedians forget is that it is a two-way street, you know? Like the more they give you, it's easier to give them more and stuff like that. And then sometimes you hear comics to be like, "Well, they were a bad crowd. They didn't like what I was saying." It's like, "Okay, well then say something else." If you want laughs, but you
Yeah.
know, or be content with not getting the laughs or whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
I think in line with that, I think like a real present audience. I think that's not going to happen without present performers, right? And I was actually doing a little trick on myself last night. I have changed some of the set list. And I was adding a couple of new things that I don't know if the audience would know or not, but my show doesn't change a lot. It's a little glacial. Like the tradition of magic is like the magician, you know, you develop an act and then you do that act until you die.
Right.
So
There's some comedians that operate under that model
that,
too.
and it's true. And it's not a bad model. You know, I mean, you know, in vaudeville, sidebar here, you know, people would develop their act wouldn't change at all, and they would tour vaudeville around the world. And then the moving pictures came, and they
Yeah.
filmed that act once, and then those acts were dead. And now we have moving pictures every day. So it's,
Yeah.
you know, Leno apparently has never taped, and will never tape his working set, his headline hour set that he does for $100,000 at corporates. Never been seen on film. You know, he does it every Sunday at Comedy and Magic in Hermosa Beach for a live audience. But he's smart to not burn that material for fresh live audiences. You know.
Yeah.
But I was, so I was. Some new material was in there,
Okay.
and I feel like that kept me on my toes.
Interesting. Okay.
And kept me sort of actually in a thought process, not just on autopilot. I messed some stuff up. I forgot to introduce, you know, I usually introduce this priority mail envelope thing way early in the
Yeah.
show. And I'm halfway through, like, I'm more than halfway through the show, and I'm like, I haven't set up because row of dominoes, the change in the earlier set order threw me off my mnemonic.
Okay.
You know, so I had to, in my mind, find a way to get that organically back into play. and I'm
While
just
also still doing
a show.
a show. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
yeah. So
having
just
the wheels turning.
keeping present, and then just this room. Like I feel like, I don't know about the other rooms you play, but like there's no other room that I feel so comfortable and at home.
Sure.
And I was feeling that energy too. Like I was feeling not a pressure to like drive the show or like pump them up. Like it was just, we were all here last night,
Yeah.
and in this very comfortable, welcoming space.
It is so cool that I've seen you. You know, there's a one you do with a newspaper, and I've seen that multiple times, and still, I'm like, what?
Dude, it's the trick that made me know I was going to be a magician. Doug Henning did it at the Orpheum when I was 12, and it was like, it looks like real magic. But I have changed the script
Yes.
with that,
Yeah.
because it used to be about college and you know, like my angst about focusing on French symbolist drama.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that doesn't. I mean, I'm 53, man. I'm not. I have money in the bank. I'm not bummed about paying money for college. You know,
Yeah.
like, the joke falls flat. You know.
the kids.
But I am 53 and an idiot with social media. So framing it as an Insta video, you know, seemed to make
oh, that's
all
great.
the sense in the world.
Oh, that's absolutely great angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you actually posting any of those?
God, no.
No, I didn't think so.
No.
No.
You know, I worked it out. I did practice with a camera and a buddy, and there is a way. You know, I can make it look really good for that online post. But I see other performers who, particularly magic, where they have something that involves a post that gets everyone to bring out their Instagram and take a picture or check a thing, where they're like doing a selfie with a card or something, and their Instagram post becomes just hundreds of that.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And how many times does someone want to see that same video, you know,
Sure.
posted? So
Sure.
yeah.
We need to take some time to talk about the big thing in Trevor's life. New album, first album.
Yeah. Yeah. it just came out
Congratulations.
on Tuesday. Thank you.
Debut album.
Yeah. It was a long time coming, and now after hearing you talk about that, I realized I probably shouldn't have burned that hour. But
Yeah,
no,
you're screwed, man.
It was so last night I was doing 30 minutes that wasn't on the album, and that was again what you were saying, like your focus time. You know, it's not, you don't push play and be like, I've been doing this for, you know, this joke for in some form or another for 6 years or whatever. You know, it's
Because you
It's
just
exciting.
you just had a headlining set here within the last
yes,
week
that,
or two.
That was the day that the pre-order went live.
Yeah.
So it all kind of it's like the comedy clouds parted and all stars aligned on this to happen, because I've been trying to work with Ghost Runner Records, Tommy Ryman, Mary Mack, Tim Harmston. They were putting in good words, and I met Tony Deo one time when he was here, and I actually met him again when he was at Crash and Burn a couple
Yeah?
weeks ago. And I was emailing them. I was like, here's kind of what I think I would want to do, because I didn't want to do an album that was just, here's 45 minutes of my act. Like, I wanted it to have a through line, a thought process. So it kind of goes between, you know, getting married through the pandemic, having our first child, and then it all kind of, it's all about my family kind of flow, I
Right.
guess.
Spoiler.
Yeah, sorry. No sense to get the album now. I summed it up in 14 seconds. But yeah, and then they were like, hey, yeah, we like this. We'll try to get something. If you can get a feature week on the books, we can splice it together over those half-hour sets. And literally the next day,
oh wow.
Lewis emailed me. He was like, hey, are you available this day? I'd like to have you close the show. And that was my first headlining thing here. So I was like, first album record, first headline. All the friends were like, oh yeah, but I want to see your act sometime. Like, this is the one.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, sold that out.
Yeah, you
and
packed it,
got
man.
got-
Awesome.
got it in one take, which was good for editing, because I don't have to be like, no, was the Thursday, was that, you know, it's just like, just take out the ums.
I always ask, what went wrong, what almost went wrong, and you're saying nothing.
I mean, no. I mean, I listen to it time and time again. I'm at the point I'm like, did I tell a joke during this hour? Like, you know, once you've listened to it a million times, I was like, did I just talk? I don't know, but
That's funny.
I think overall it's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pleased with it.
Yeah,
and it's done. And I was asking other comics that I know who have recorded, like, what would you tell me anything about an album? And Robert Burrill was like, once it's out, I wouldn't listen to it again. He's like, because then you're gonna be like, oh, this joke I actually do better now, and it's like, there's no point because that's the version. You can still do that joke better if you come up with the way.
Yeah.
So
Trevor, what's the title of the album,
Stay at Home Dude.
and where do we find it?
Online. I'll have
Really
them.
great.
Yeah,
Really
it's
great.
on
Very specific.
iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music.
I noticed something.
And physical copies. I'm finding a way to have more useless merch in 2024, but I just wanted a physical CD, and who knows, maybe it would be cool like vinyl came back.
Yeah, Ryan Stout did his comedy album on vinyl.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Oh,
Big platter.
yeah. I mean, I saw you had CDs last night. It's not the worst idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
some people just want them. I live in a townhouse association with a bunch of little old ladies that I actually have jokes about on the album. They're like, I want a CD. And I'm like, okay. I mean, it's a clean album. It's like there's no swearsies, no offensive stuff.
Swearsies.
Yeah.
You even say swearsies.
Yeah.
Clean and friendly.
Yeah.
It's
I
the
don't
clean version
fuck
of
with
cuss words.
swearsies. Bleep that out, Brandon. He's like, we don't edit shit on this podcast.
I don't bleep with swearsies.
Print.
Oh, that is fantastic. I found something out the other day when I went on Spotify and I searched Trevor Anderson to try to find like if I could pre-order or if it was already available. I don't know what day it was. So I don't know if it was available yet.
Okay.
And what did I find on Spotify? All of your freaking playlists for your daughter.
Oh, that's funny.
Like Disney Queen or
Yeah.
Disney Princesses. And
Yeah.
all these other ones. Quinn's favorites. and stuff.
It's my
P. Diddy.
yeah. I was listening to those in the car the other day, and I realized she wasn't even in there. I'm like, I could have been listening to a podcast with swearsies on it this whole time. I've been listening to Baby Shark while I was driving to Target.
Alone?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It was just autopilot
dad.
just zoning out. Yeah.
What a dad. For the record now, I hit the link that you put on Facebook, and then it went back to Spotify directly to your album. So
Oh, okay.
it does send you there now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely. How was the, you had them on sale after the show last night, the artisanal cookware.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's the other useless merch I have.
Not useless.
But it's yeah, those have been going pretty good. I think the best week I ever did selling, I make wooden spatulas. That was my like COVID hobby, was woodworking. And I was here like the week of Mother's Day, like and I was just like, y'all forgot you need some dumb crap for your mom this Sunday, don't you? And I like sold completely out. It was wild.
You did, for the rest of the week, you ought to be like, use Christmas gift.
That's true. Yeah, especially now that it's snowing.
I'm telling you. There's your angle.
Or Thanksgiving. That's a big cooking
Yeah.
holiday, you know? How you going to
Actually,
flip that bird?
Don't
Ted-
bring a pie, bring a wooden spoon.
Ted, one of the ushers here, he had one, and he tagged me on it Thanksgiving Day. It was a broken spatula handle and inside a turkey. And I was like, oh, I'll get you a replacement. He's like, well, I don't know if they were trying to like lift a 25-pound turkey and it just snapped. He's like, you ruined Thanksgiving. I was like, what? You're not supposed to be shoving spatulas up turkeys.
You're supposed to hang it on your wall, man.
Yeah.
It's art.
You don't have an advertised weight limit for these things?
No, I haven't. I've had other people be like, yeah, I put it in the dishwasher and I ruined it. And I was like, I told you not to.
Yeah,
but,
I think I've heard you say no dishwasher.
I mean, you can do it. It's, do it.
You should
Whatever-
say the same
yeah.
thing for your CDs.
Yeah. Put them in the dishwasher if you want, but it probably won't work.
Did you sell discs last night?
I sold a few, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then I think a lot of people took like the QR code. Because
hell yeah.
you can listen to it on Spotify, so I'll make my money off of that in a few decades. At this point, I'm just happy it's out, and I'm happy people are interested in listening to it,
Yeah, for sure.
and happy to work on a new hour. So
Hell yeah.
no magic tricks in that one though.
Have you ever tried a magic
Yet.
trick?
No,
No history.
never learned one?
Even as a kid? Did you mess around with magic a little?
I don't think so.
No?
I like it.
It was for nerds, right?
No, I like it. I think it's maybe one of those things where I'm just like, same with skateboarding. I'm like, that's super cool, but that's not in me. I can't. I'll just let the other people who are into it do it.
Yeah.
And enjoy that.
For sure. But
think
Derek, you had a singing career as a musician, right? No?
Never. No. I think a lot of people they learn a magic trick early on and they fail miserably, and then they don't try to learn anymore
Right.
because it does not feel good
Yeah.
to not be magic when you're saying
Yeah.
I'm going to be magic and then there's no magic. There's no way out, you know. When a magic trick fails. Ugh.
Yeah.
Are the boys getting into it yet, or?
No. But Benny, hey,
Okay.
what Benny likes is the attention. So he's done magic tricks for the talent show at his elementary school, but they're heavily curated and directed. He has an inside man to help him out. And here's what's cool: COVID, he did the virtual talent show, and we did a little video. And we big fans of America's Funniest Home Videos over there in the Hughes household. And Alonzo was asking for magic videos, and Charlene sent it in, and Benny got picked.
Whoa.
And I was traveling. I was on the road, but we all watched in the same time zone, and Benny's video played on America's Funniest
That's
Home
awesome.
Videos.
Here.
And this is so great. He's sitting next to Charlene. She told me that as soon as Alonzo's like, well, now we're time for some magic. And he turned to my wife, and he's like, I'm so nervous. Adorable.
You didn't give him any tips about anxiety, stage fright? Or anything?
Well, no. I mean, he wasn't on stage. He was just nervous to watch it. You know,
Yeah,
on TV.
I feel that.
And like, it was.
He's
it
got
was,
better credits than I do.
It was really.
I love that. Yeah. You know him from America's Got Talent, Benny.
I went to magic camp when I was 12.
Yeah.
I then started when I was 18 going back as a counselor. And a big part of my professional community came from Tannen's Magic Camp. And a year ago, not this last summer, but a year ago, June, I took the boys with me for the whole week at Magic Camp. And they enjoyed it, and they learned some magic, but it wasn't something that, like, stuck with them, into the following school year or anything like that. They've got their
Quit
own thing.
pushing us into magic, Dad.
Yeah. I want to be an accountant, okay? I love
Okay.
numbers. You can't stop me.
No, please don't with
Yeah,
that stable job.
How do they rebel against Willy Wonka? you know?
Yeah. Well, they're also at like prime age where like they'll be interested in something for a week, and then like my nephew is 10, and he's like, I want to be a DJ, and my brother's like, okay, sure, I bet you will. But they he spent some money on like a little turntable thing, and he's been practicing it.
Maybe it'll stick,
Yeah.
What he has to do is get a gig,
Yeah.
and then it'll stick, you
Yeah.
know? You make some dough.
Doing his friends' birthday parties and stuff.
Benny-
Trevor, I think you'll be interested to know that on our way home from the club last night, my wife and I, speaking of Spotify, I pulled up That's What I Call Music Volume 1
Oh yes.
based on your joke.
That's the it all tracks, right? It's
Absolutely.
It's a weird grouping of
We
music.
we got to Karma Police, and I was like, Karma Police? And she's like, he said that on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is right next to Barbie Girl on the track list. That's like
We
wild.
went through them between the 2
They're
of us.
good songs.
Between the 2 of us, there were 2 songs we didn't know, for the record. Can I tell you what those were? We had, where is it here? We had Slow Never Ever, All Saints.
Yeah, I don't.
So you don't even know that one now. And something by Keith Murray in Imagine. Either of those.
Yeah, no.
So they didn't put all hits on these.
Now, did you listen to those songs?
Yes, for a little
Okay,
bit.
and then you didn't.
Did not ring a
nothing?
bell
Nothing.
whatsoever.
What an odd playlist. It's like the first year Jack FM was around.
Yeah, I actually kind of liked that. It was just like, yeah, this
Bouncing.
is yeah.
And if you hate one song, the next one's might has another. It's,
Right,
It's
yeah.
not going to be in the same vein.
That's true. It is a great joke.
That's a road trip thing that I've done. Is we play like past the aux chord and like play a song that's good but is completely different from the previous song.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's a fun way to kind of pass the time. It'll be like like Metallica will play and then someone will put on like P Diddy or whatever.
Oh.
But no, it's kind of fun to keep track of those playlists too.
And I like a song that's good.
Yeah, it's
You know?
supposed to be a song you like, but then you end up getting like you're like digging through the back of your brain to try to find something that like maybe they haven't heard this one or whatever.
It's a fun one. I'll do it by myself on the way home after this.
Yeah. Yes,
I'm playing a game.
This is great weather to be distracted on the radio driving. Right, one hand on Spotify, the other.
Come on, man. I've driven this road a million times. I could do it with my eyes closed.
That's
right?
what everybody says.
Yeah, no shit. No shit. Is there anything else we should be mentioning? People can keep an eye out that you guys are doing, or Downtown Owl, a movie that you're in, Derek, is now on Netflix. People
That's
can check
correct.
that out. Right?
Downtown
Cool.
Owl, adapted from Chuck Klosterman's novel of the same name, shot here in Minnesota a couple years ago. And it was great. It was on Delta, back of the seat video viewer.
Nice.
And, I fly a fair amount, so I'd always cue it up to my scene and then just wait for the scene and then, like, scroll it back. Oh, yeah, that's me. I did
I'm in this? Oh, that's crazy.
There's
Totally
an independent
forgot.
feature that just shot up in Ely called Bigfoot Woods. And I scored a nice part in that, and that's that's deep pre-production. I mean, we're not pre-production, it's just going into post.
Okay.
But it's independent feature. It stars Rich Sommer, who was on Mad Men. He's a great actor, brought a lot to it, and it's a really cool story about a young teenager transitioning in a very small town, going from discovering their identity and the obstacles they face.
Sure.
Yeah.
Look at that. Awesome.
So-
More acting.
Yeah, more acting.
Good.
It was very surprising. I did think leaving LA, like, well, I'm hanging up that hat for sure. And, I've been scoring more feature film work out of Minneapolis.
Yeah. Quickly, how performing wise, Magic? Where are you going these days? How far?
I do it's a mix. Colleges, I still do a lot of college tour stuff and predominantly corporate work. I'm doing a lot of sales meetings and awards presentations and bringing some entertainment to corporate America all over the place.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. I'm very thankful for that work, But it's not the freedom that you have in a room like this, Like, you do really have to be careful of, you are not there to offend anyone. I lean more into the magic in a corporate setting than I do the stand-up.
Sure. Sure.
Because comedy is much more subjective than, wait, how the hell did you do that? But I love that work, and I'd like to spend more time focusing. I've been, first steps towards some sort of keynote talk.
Sure.
I think I went through. You mentioned a medical thing. I had an artificial valve. My atrial valve, my aortic valve is now carbon.
Oh, just that.
And I can hear it click. Can you hear this? That was my mouth. Seriously? Okay.
I can hear it.
No, I mean, really, in a quiet room, you hear it. It's crazy. It's nuts.
Say again. What is it that you have?
So I have an artificial aortic valve replacement. My valve from my aorta was my aorta was dilating, so the valve wasn't fully closing. So they chopped the aorta out, put in a tube of Dacron, which is like parachute material, and a carbon valve that is now clicking away.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And that was 4 months ago. 4 months ago, I was dead on a table for a bunch of hours. I know. Second time too.
I'm anxious just hearing about it. Oh man.
Yeah, the recovery, it's hairy, man. Thankfully there wasn't like an incident. Nothing ruptured. We were just monitoring it, and the doctor was like, "I want you to start preparing your mind for an inevitable surgery at some point." And then last spring I went down to the Mayo and did a workup, and they're like, "Yeah, we should do this in maybe the next 6 months." Wow. So we looked at the calendar, and July was, I only had to cancel a couple gigs. I did my first gig 5 weeks in to recovery, and
Wow.
it was dicey. I didn't tell the client.
Yeah. At least not before.
When will you work the ticking into the act, though?
It's funny. I thought like, wow, I'm gonna have a ton of material about this. I don't think my mind is ready for that yet.
I mean, I can't
like,
even imagine. Man.
It's wild. Because yeah.
So glad
so-
you're okay. Oh, my
Oh,
God.
thanks, man.
Oh.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It is. I do feel like I'll never be able to sneak up on my kids. Again, I'm like the crocodile from Peter Pan, right?
Yeah.
And
Are you? I have to ask. So, are you like blocking? Look, you're laying down in bed. Do you have 6 fans going on so you're not hearing your heartbeat?
No. I have a I have a CPAP machine, so that.
Oh, you have that too. Oh, Jesus,
Bionic
man.
Derek
Yeah.
Hughes.
It's really old. Getting old is sexy. I think the person.
So the
yeah,
covers up the
that would
clack.
cover it. Yeah. So actually, my wife prefers I don't use the CPAP so the snoring covers the ticking.
Derek.
I think the person it bothers most is anybody sitting next to me on an airplane. Tick, tick.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Where's the marshal?
Don't say the B word. Is there something? You guys hear? That's fantastic. Trevor, the rest of the year, more comedy, any music?
A little bit, yeah. We're going on the road in Wisconsin with the Brothers Almanac doing. When we did the first Ave show, we did Eat a Peach and Brothers and Sisters, a double album presentation.
Yeah.
And it's like, we got it worked up. We've got the posters for it. Let's just see if, and so, yeah, we'll travel a little bit that. And then, yeah, just kind of enjoying, this year was really focused on getting that album out.
Yeah.
And
Huge accomplishment.
I'm going to play a lot of video games next month, I think, and not listen to myself tell the same jokes over and over.
Much earned. Much
Yeah.
earned.
Favorite video game these days?
I've been really enjoying Vampire Survivors, which is
Oh,
fitting for the
got a
season.
woo from the back of the room
Yeah.
from Brandon.
Very holiday
It's-
specific.
It's a game where
Nice.
you almost it's almost not a game. All you do is control your little guy, and they move around, and all these like bats and stuff, like little monsters are coming at you, and your guy automatically shoots at whatever's closest, and then the more experience you get, the more upgrades you get, and so eventually you're just like got this little like knight dude who's running around just like bullet hell, like shooting all these zombies and stuff, and the dopamine hits. The sounds are so perfect. It's like bing, bing, and you're just
Love
like, it's
Love
one
it.
of those games where you start it and then it's like, well, how is it 3 a.m? I've only been playing this for 15 minutes, so I might actually have to dial back on that one a little bit.
I do not approve.
Just play it one time. Just try it once.
And the beauty is that if you know Trevor's act, when he talks about, a wife working hard, she provides the insurance, and then staying up till 3 playing a cool video game. It all ties
Yeah.
in together.
I know why
It
it's
all
called
fits.
Vampire Attack. Because it's sucking your soul.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, once again, I can't recommend enough people come to the shows. I don't know. I mean, it might be too late to get people to come here on Halloween night. I don't know how soon we're getting this on here, but the rest of the weekend, absolutely.
Yeah,
come out and see
please.
these shows. Trevor, who's now headlines here at Acme, is doing a feature, so it's
Yeah.
absolutely great set.
Yeah, it's
Would-
like double headliner.
I mean, really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm super thankful to be able to do the feature weeks because, like, when I went from MC to feature, I was like, wait a second, I used to be there every other month, like, and then now I'm like, is it once a year only? Like, this place is so great, and I even told Lewis, I was like, if you want me to host, I'll do that too, I'll just anytime you can get stage time here is awesome.
Yeah, that's
Just
a great
look
point.
right to the camera and tell Lewis.
I will take a pay cut. No.
I'll do it for free.
Wow.
Come on,
Undercutters.
just give me a free steak.
I'll pay you.
Thank you, guys. This has been great.
Thanks,
thank you.
Justin.
Maybe you'll return that cup to where you stole it from.
Yeah, you're very funny. My set of 4 Delta first class Alessi. It's Alessi. This is a fantastic Italian design company. I was like, what? In my
They're
jacket
just
pocket.
giving these away.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.